welcome back to 504 Road Trips. If it sounds right about now like Jason and Carrie aren't narrating this video, that's because they're not. They were, however, nice enough to lend me, Roadwaywiz, the microphone for today's video. You'll also be in for something of a treat in this video, as you'll get to see what it's like to ride in the car with me behind the wheel, since I was the one driving when this footage was shot over a year ago. I took a trip down to the Deep South and Gulf Coast in January 2022, and while in the Mobile, Alabama area, I met up with Jason and we decided to take a ride down to Dauphin Island together in order to create some new content for our respective channels. This video you're about to watch is the result of this collaboration. In addition, the real-time, unedited version of this footage will be available on my channel in a new playlist that features our other collaborations over the years. A link to this playlist will be posted at the end of this video and in the description below. This video will cover the full lengths of two Alabama state highways, 193 and 163. We begin this video at the northern terminus of Alabama Highway 193 at US Highway 90 in the unincorporated community of Tillman's Corner, and head briefly east, although the route is signed north-south for its entire length, on the locally named Range Line Road. The route passes through a commercial area and then crosses Interstate 10 at a full cloverleaf interchange. After crossing I-10, State Route 193 takes on a southeasterly trajectory as a four-lane divided highway with occasional frontage roads on either side as we pass through a more commercial and industrial setting. Here the highway turns due south, and just ahead we see a junction with Hamilton Boulevard and Island Road, the latter of which carries State Highway 163 to the left back north towards the city of Mobile. We'll see more of that highway later in the video. At this point, the highway narrows down to 2 lanes, although there appears to be enough right-of-way to one day extend the 4-lane divided highway layout further south. Just ahead is a bridge over the middle fork of the Deer River, as labeled on topographical maps. Looking back in history, this river was actually just a small stream that was later widened and dredged to form a shipping channel off of Mobile Bay, necessitating a larger bridge. And once again, we'll talk more about that later on in this video. Here, Route 193 makes a hard left onto Laurendine Road in a more rural residential area. We'll head east just under a mile as the route shifts a little closer to the coast of Mobile Bay. We make another 90-degree turn to head south again, and now we're on Dauphin Island Parkway, which will take us all the way to the coast. We cross the East Fowl River here on this bridge. For now, the wooded lots on the left side of the road hide the fact that we're right on the edge or on the west side of Mobile Bay. We're on Mon Louis Island, which is bounded by the East Fowl River, Mobile Bay, and Mississippi Sound. At the flashing light ahead is a junction with State Route 188, which is part of Alabama's Coastal Connection, a collection of scenic byways that run along Alabama's coastline. State Route 193 is also part of Alabama's Coastal Connection south of here all the way to the eastern tip of Dauphin Island and then across the ferry route and into Gulf Shores. At the very southern tip of Montlouis Island is the Cedar Point Pier, a Mobile County park, open for fishing 24 hours, 7 days a week. We've now reached the 3-mile-long Dauphin Island Bridge, officially known as the Gordon Persons Bridge, named for the 46th governor of Alabama, who served in office from 1951 to 1955. It was under his administration that a bridge was first erected here between the mainland and Dauphin Island in 1955, but this bridge was destroyed in 1979 by Hurricane Frederick, which made landfall at Dauphin Island and devastated the Alabama coastline and much of southern Mobile County. Damage estimates varied widely due to the inadequate reporting and documentation, but it's generally accepted that the storm caused about $1.8 billion in damages in 1979 currency, which made Frederick the Atlantic Basin's costliest tropical cyclone on record at the time. Due to this extensive damage along the Alabama coast, the name Frederick was subsequently retired from the list of Atlantic hurricane names and has not been used since. The current bridge opened in 1982, consisting of a fixed precast concrete segmental bridge. The central main span of this bridge was the longest of its type in the world at the time of its completion, and this bridge as a whole served as a model for future precast concrete bridges that would be built in the final years of the 20th century. The Dauphin Island Bridge traverses the Pass au Héron, which divides the Mississippi Sound to the right of us from the Mobile Bay to the left. This natural channel also carries the Gulf Intracoastal Waterway. We arrive at Dauphin Island and an end sign for State Route 193 is visible on the right at the foot of the bridge. We're now on Lemoyne Drive, named for Pierre Lemoyne Sue d'Iberville, who landed here in 1699, establishing the island as part of the New France colony. We turn left onto Bienville Boulevard, the island's main street, named for Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville, d'Iberville's brother, who, although equally famous in the history of French Louisiana, is not even mentioned in the history of Dauphin Island. D'Iberville later established a port for Fort Louis de la Louisiane on the island due to its abundant timber, reliable supply of fresh water, and a natural deep water harbor. The settlement consisted of a fort, a chapel, government-owned warehouses, and residences. The island served as a major trading depot where goods from places such as Haiti, Mexico, Cuba, and mainland France were unloaded and a short-lived fur trade was conducted. Before a channel was dredged, Mobile Bay was too shallow and its sandbars too treacherous for ocean-going vessels to travel up the bay and Mobile River to Fort Louis de Louisiane. Thus, smaller boats carried the cargo within Mobile Bay to and from Dauphin Island. Fort Gaines on the eastern tip of the island was built between 1821 and 1848. It was occupied by Confederate forces in 1861 and captured by the Union Army during the Battle of Mobile Bay, but more on that in just a moment. On the left is the Dauphin Island terminal of the Mobile Bay Ferry, which carries vehicles between Dauphin Island and Mobile Point on the east side of the bay near Fort Morgan in the Gulf Shores area. The 40-minute-long ferry trip is in lieu of a 109-mile drive between 2 points that are just 4 miles apart from each other, and on most days you can in fact see Gulf Shores and Fort Morgan from your position at Fort Gaines. On the right is the historic Fort Gaines, established in 1821 and best known for its role in the Battle of Mobile Bay during the American Civil War. On August 5, 1864, a Union naval fleet of 18 ships led by U.S. Rear Admiral David Glasgow Farragut engaged the Confederate naval fleet stationed at Mobile Bay with the intent of capturing the bay and its forts and sealing off one of the last safe Confederate harbors on the Gulf Coast. When the lead ship in the attack, the USS Tecumseh, hit a mine and sank, and the remaining ships in the group hesitated to advance, Farragut responded, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." The Union fleet rammed and shelled the rebel fleet and the forts they were guarding into submission, rendering this vital safe harbor useless to the Confederacy for the remainder of the war. Now we're going to jet back to the intersection of routes 193 and 163, where we'll take a different way back to US 90 and Mobile. Enjoy the ride! Note here that Dauphin Island Parkway continues straight while we're turning left onto Laurendine Road. I mentioned earlier that the Deer River had been widened and dredged to allow for a shipping channel, and a new bridge was never built across the expanded river for the Dauphin Island Parkway. So in order to make this connection, we'll continue back the way we came to cross the river again on State Highway 193. Here we turn right at the southern terminus of State Highway 163, which will take us along the Deer River back to Dauphin Island Parkway, which will follow all the way back to US 90 in Mobile. As I mentioned a minute ago, Dauphin Island Parkway, as well as State Highway 163, originally ran straight south across the Deer River on the old bridge, and the highway was numbered 163 all the way to Dauphin Island. But with the removal of this bridge over Deer River in 1985, State Highway 163 was diverted a bit. Its alignment was truncated to 193, and the highway, the Dauphin Island Parkway, south of here was simply renumbered as part of an extended Highway 193. Here we turn left back onto Dauphin Island Parkway, upon which will remain for the rest of this video. From here until the I-10 interchange, the roadway is mostly 2 lanes in each direction with a center turn lane, with the exception of a short section ahead that has the outer lanes converted to a bicycle path. Here at the Dog River Bridge, we enter the city of Mobile, which has a population of about 187,000 per the 2020 census. Mobile is the largest city and county seat of Mobile County, and is the 4th largest city in Alabama by population after Huntsville, Birmingham, and Montgomery. As we pass through the southern portion of the city limits, we'll be driving through a lightly populated residential area for the next several miles. We've reached Interstate 10, and here's an unusual 3-level stack interchange with the interstate, which involves a partial cloverleaf, a couple of flyovers, and a left-hand exit off of I-10 that connects to Highway 163 South. This hybrid interchange appears to have been designed this way to favor movements connecting downtown Mobile with the nearby Mobile Downtown Airport. Interchanges like this that feature a mixture of left and right-hand entrances and exits are generally frowned upon and are being phased out around the country. But if you like old, antiquated interchange designs, this one will probably continue to be around for a while still. From here, we'll be getting into a more densely populated residential area. You'll notice a frontage road to the right, providing access to the homes on that side of the road. Looking back at old aerial images from the 1950s, you can see that it appears that this was once a much more widely divided highway, with a wider median, and what is now the frontage road was the original northbound lanes. Here we encounter a five-cornered, or a 5 points, intersection. Hall's Mill Road comes in from behind us to the left and actually continues straight ahead, running concurrent with Dauphin Island Parkway and Highway 163 for 1 block until we diverge to the left, which I wasn't expecting to happen, as you can see in this video. I mean, I'm a New York driver, what do you expect? State Highway 163 comes to its northern terminus at US Highway 90 here on the west side of Mobile, with an end sign on the utility pole to the right. And this is where we conclude this special edition video. This is Roadwaywiz saying thanks for watching. If you've not already heard, 504 Road Trips has enabled channel memberships. Wow! So for just $1 a month, you can help support the channel and receive special perks. I don't know, is Carrie giving away any of her cats?
No!
Or maybe Jason's giving away his sob.
That's Carrie's sob.
Maybe
No!
we should get in on that. I don't know.
The thing's been dead for a year anyway. Swedish automobile, always broken.
Anyway, click on the link in the description if you'd like to join. You can also find me, Roadwaywiz, here on YouTube, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and now on Twitch and Discord. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, post a comment, subscribe, share, and follow us on social media, and join your normally scheduled hosts on their next 504 road trip.